We all see what AI can do. It's amazing. It can write poetry. It can create unbelievable art. It can answer pretty much any question you throw at it. But behind that magic, that free, seemingly effortless intelligence, there's this enormous hidden industrial system, an entire economy that most of us never, ever see.
So what is the real cost of all this free AI? Let's actually dig in and peel back the layers on this thing. We're going to start with a pretty wild paradox that's created in the job market. I mean, a total reversal of what we all thought was going to happen.
All right, first up, the great job reversal. For years, we've been fed this one story about which jobs automation was coming for. Well, it turns out AI might have flipped that story completely on its head.
I mean, just look at this. This changes everything. For decades, the thinking was that robots would replace manual labor, right? But AI is different. It's coming for intellectual labor, the work of writers, of analysts, even programmers. And meanwhile, the jobs that need a human touch, actual physical skill, well, they're suddenly looking a whole lot more secure. And listen, don't think for a second this is some far-off science fiction future. No. Some estimates are saying that 80% of workers, 80, can already feel AI's impact on their job right now. This isn't on the horizon, it's here. And frankly, it is moving way faster than anyone expected.
So if AI is already reshaping our work lives, what's actually powering that change? Because it's not magic, right? It's a physical, financial infrastructure. It's a race to build the new machinery of intelligence on a scale we've never seen anything like it.
Get a load of this number, $4.3 trillion. That is the market value of NVIDIA. Yeah, you might remember them as the company that made chips for video games. Well, now they make the essential processors, the GPUs, that fuel the entire AI industry. And that one single focus has made them more valuable than Apple. Wow. And it is not just NVIDIA. $251 billion. That's what Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft have spent on infrastructure in 2024 alone. And where's all that cash going? It is being poured into building these gigantic AI empires, these massive power-hungry data centers that are just stuffed with those very same chips.
And this just perfectly illustrates the insane demand. $40,000. That's not for a whole server farm. That's the going price on the black market for a single high-end AI processor. I mean, you could buy a brand new car for that. It is a modern gold rush, and these little chips are the new gold.
So, what happens when all that gold ends up in just a few hands? This gold rush has basically created a new world order. A tiny handful of tech giants now control the most critical resource of our era, computing power. Just look at this. Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, together, they own 2/3 of the entire global cloud market.
Now, that kind of dominance creates this really powerful effect called vendor lock-in. Think of it this way. Once a company builds its whole operation on a platform like, say, Amazon Web Services, trying to switch to a competitor becomes almost impossible. It's incredibly difficult and expensive. You're basically trapped.
And this isn't just a headache for a few tech startups. Nope. An estimated 70% of all small and medium-sized businesses in the US are now critically dependent on just one of these cloud giants. That creates this huge economic vulnerability, and it gives a few corporations an unbelievable amount of power over millions of other businesses.
Okay, so all this hardware, all this investment, all this computing power, it has to run somewhere. And that brings us to the next hidden cost. Because this massive digital world doesn't just have a financial price tag. It comes with a staggering and often totally invisible environmental one.
Just think about this for a second. That simple, free question you type into a chatbot, it's not free at all. The second you hit enter, it triggers this incredibly power-hungry process in a data center maybe thousands of miles away, and it uses way, way more electricity than a normal Google search.
Now, to put that into perspective, let's just look at Ireland, which is a huge hub for data centers. In 2023, those data centers used up 21% of the entire country's electricity. Let that sink in. That is more power than every single home in the nation uses, combined.
And it's not just electricity. All those servers generate a ton of heat, so they need to be cooled. And that takes an insane amount of water. Just look. In 1 month, while training an AI model, a single Microsoft data center in Iowa used as much water as a whole city of 30,000 people.
When you zoom out to the global scale, the numbers are just mind-boggling.
Right now, the AI industry uses more electricity than the entire country of Argentina. Its carbon footprint is on par with whole nations. And here's the kicker. All of this, it's projected to double by 2030.
So you've got this explosive growth in spending, this massive resource consumption, valuations that are through the roof. All of this is fueling a pattern we've seen time and time again in tech history, a speculative frenzy, or, what we call a bubble.
The economic historian Carlota Paris, she actually identified this cycle. It happens with every major technological revolution, from the railways to the internet. And if you look at the frantic investment, the insane hype around AI right now, there's no question. We are right here, smack in the middle of the frenzy phase. But here's the crazy paradox at the heart of this whole frenzy. Despite the sky-high valuations and billions of dollars flying around, almost nobody is actually making any money. The vast majority of these AI companies are just burning through cash, hoping they can last long enough to maybe turn a profit someday. I mean, that is the literal textbook definition of a bubble.
So what could pop it? Honestly, it could be anything. Strict new environmental laws, an energy crisis that makes computing power crazy expensive, or maybe just investors waking up one day and realizing those huge profits they were promised just aren't coming.
But here's the really important part. A crash isn't the end of the story. Not at all. I mean, after the dot-com bubble burst, the survivors, companies like Amazon and Google, they went on to define the next 2 decades. The same thing is going to happen with AI. The hype will fade, the bubble will pop, and the technology will mature into a fundamental utility, something as common and essential as electricity.
And that really is the ultimate question we're left with. As AI just becomes this basic utility, we have to face something profound. For all of human history, our intelligence has been our thing, our primary asset. So what happens next? What is our role, and what makes us valuable in a world where intelligence itself can just be rented like a utility? That's the real price we're all going to have to figure out.